Hey, good morning. I'm gonna pull a card for the day. Slept well. It's hot today, very hot today. Sitting in the shade, working on some dolls. I don't know if it comes up backwards. It's let's go train hopping. I'm working on like the 6th, 7th doll. So I'm moving quicker. I'm cutting up some of my clothes to use for material. And my friend just, I spoke to my friend yesterday. They said they want to go to Burning Man too, so I might get a ride to Burning Man. But I mean, if we ride there, I guess we'll have to pay for a ticket, which it'd be cool because it's like a guarantee way in. Maybe I'll travel with him a little bit because we always wanted to travel together. But I hope he can come. But if he doesn't, I'm gonna still try to go on my own. I think I could do it, you know. He also was saying like if you don't have money, people buy your tickets at the gate. I haven't heard anything like that, but that seems fair. Like I don't know. I know it's people with money going. So yeah. So anyway, card for the day. Oh, 6 of Swords. I know this one pretty well. 6 of Swords. It's a ferryman and a woman and a child. You know, they could be all related, but the ferryman is taking them like across the lake. It shows here in the present or the past that waters were rocky. And these 6 swords are guarding the child and the woman. So it means like safe passage across the lake to land. And it shows like the water here is calm. So, and that, you know, once they get over there, they'll be in more of a safer environment than what was in the present or in the past. Swords are mental, so it could mean like, you know, for your mental well-being to get across this lake to like, you know, better mental health. But I'll look up more interpretations. I might have done this. I've done it. I probably, because if I didn't do it here, I did it in San Francisco. But I'm gonna go with it. All right, 6 of Swords. So I was just heard like it was called the Pilgrim's Passage. So it shows like, you know, the difficulties of like getting somewhere to like gain well-being. Kind of forgot, so I'm gonna look up more stuff. Okay, so it's about moving away, maybe moving away from a job, maybe following your intuition. It's not a bad card, but it just shows that it is time for a change. And yeah, like follow your intuition, because it might be something that you know you need to get away from, and so it probably is that thing. So just try to follow your intuition. Maybe a bad relationship, you know, I don't know, but yeah, follow your intuition. So with this person here, like I always assume it's a family, but usually it's not like interpreted as it's a family, but that this is just kind of the ferryman. But it just shows like the need that these people need to get away from their situation, whatever situation that may be, and that you may need support. It could mean traveling overseas, but usually it just means getting out of the situation that you're in. Yeah, look up some more stuff. Okay, finishing up the 6 of Swords. So yeah, just getting away from a situation. One thing I was thinking about was like both times when I dealt with like a breakup, and one was just like an infatuation. Both times I kind of had to leave the city I was in order to like avoid mental problems, because I felt like annoying myself mentally and emotionally if I had stuck around the city or the person. I wouldn't have cured myself, or it was too hard to stay. So one was like, the person was leaving the city, and so basically because they were leaving, it was going to be over. And I didn't feel like it felt like if I stayed in the city, I would have like went through a depression. And I kind of wanted to leave the city, Houston, Texas, because I always wanted to go back to New York, and I wanted to pursue my art. And I hated that time had went by after getting out of high school, that I was doing just a regular job and not really doing art. And I thought New York is like the city you needed to be in to do art. So when that person was leaving Texas, it was the push I needed to kind of get out of Texas. Even though I was really mad, and looking back, I didn't even see it as like, if they hadn't did what they were doing, I would have never done what it was that I wanted to do, which was go into a bigger city, mainly New York. I really just wanted to go to New York. I always wanted to go back to New York, but I was like content with a little bit, not really content. Like in the back of my head, it was like, I really want to do this crazy thing, but while like having a job in an apartment, it was like I was doing what I was told I should be doing, and then I felt accomplished, but it really wasn't what I was wanting to do. So when that person was like, well, I'm going, then that was like what I needed to like leave. And I would say I was much happier in New York and doing what I did at the time, because it was where I wanted to be. And then when I left New York, it was like I was just infatuated with somebody, and they were just giving me crumbs. And I spoke about it before. I don't know, not too many people watch these things, but at least I'll be able to look back when I'm older. I just was really infatuated, and I accepted the little that they gave me. And I always wanted to go to New Orleans, and I was never been to New Orleans at that time. And I was disappointed that I lived in Houston, right next door to Louisiana or Texas, and never went to New Orleans. So mainly in my head was go to New Orleans, but then, that the person that I was like infatuated with, it was like I knew nothing would ever happen that would be like what I was envisioning. So since that was never going to happen, I knew like in order for me to get over them and get away, I just had to physically get away, or else I would have been kind of sucked back into the pattern that we had created, and very unhappy with the little that they were giving me. And now I'm like, doing these things, and I'm happy to be doing what I'm doing. And I looking back as a kid, I always wanted to live like this, but when I got out of school, in high school, I kind of developed a love for art. And then when I got out of school, I just got a job, and I just neglected my art, didn't really care about it, was happy to have like a relationship, and just appearing to be like this young, responsible adult. Like I was like, oh, I'm doing a good job. But then I just became really miserable, because I always loved doing art, but I think in high school it really became really strong, and I wasn't doing it, and the little stuff I was doing was like crap because I was just throwing shit together and not really putting my heart and soul into it. And because I was so like in la la land and like in love and stuff, I didn't have any depth because I was just like, yeah, I just wasn't really, I just wanted to spend time with that person. And if I wasn't spending time with that person, I was just at work, working, thinking about that person. And then when I got back home, or, you know, when I wasn't at work, I was like trying to just like spend time with that person. And that went on for like 2 years. And then before that, me and my friend, we just go to the club every day, like weekend, trying to, like, for me, find like a relationship, trying to make friends and stuff, hang out with my best friend. And that was fun, but I wasn't doing any art. I was very uninterested in art at that time. And it was necessary for me to go through that to, like, I guess, just experience the beginnings of being an adult and that all that freedom that I had. And then the lack of a type of freedom, because it was also just, I was only able to like do, like really express myself on the weekend. And then every, you know, Monday through Friday I was going into work and just, you know, sticking around the house until it was time for me to go to work. So it was a little like, would the word be daunting? Like after a while, just the same thing over and over again, like going to work, going home, and then going to the club on the weekend and repeating it all over again. But then, you know, going through that, then, you know, I changed afterwards. Like, it's just gradually, and the change is gradually, and then it's inevitable that you just kind of change and I guess move towards who you're meant to be. But yeah, those traumatic experiences really pushed me, and it's been other experiences like that just like pushed me away. You know, it was just like, you know, things are cool and then things, you know, go wrong and you try to bear with it, and then it just becomes too unbearable. You know, it's like one incident happens and it's just like, okay, I got it, you know, I can't stay no more. And there's a few incidents like that, but those are the biggest ones in my life. And that last one also had to do with COVID and just lockdown and like putting things in perspective about how I was living my life, because I was just so like trying to just be content with New York and not leave New York, and trying to come up with all these excuses of why I shouldn't leave New York in my head. And same thing with Houston. It was like I loved it there, but I didn't love it that much. But I was trying to like convince myself like I never had to leave, but I didn't want that to be me. I didn't want to be a person who just stayed in one city forever. But I was scared to go out and travel, and never felt like I had enough ability or resources to travel to even like go on a vacation. I didn't feel confident in it. And now that I travel, no offense to people who don't, it's like that just wasn't what I wanted. I always wanted to like travel the way that I am traveling, and I'm glad that I'm doing it this way, and I'm this person. But if you're not interested, I think that's awesome. That's awesome too. Like, it's teach his own. But anyway, that's it. 6 of Swords. I hope that helps. I'm gonna pull one more card in a little bit. All right. I found this hat. I like it because it's not like a name brand. We got Colorado.